Hi there, welcome back. Let's take a brief cleansing breath before we begin today. Thank you for joining me in that. So, today we're doing something a little different. Today I'm going to do a 10-minute dosing swish. Okay, so a lot of us have these kits at home. So we're supposed to swish for 10 minutes. And we do that kind of on our own, in our own space, in our own time. And I have kind of a small protocol that I share with my clients. And actually, some of them would like for me to post this for them so that way they have a resource when I'm not available. So, this is my 10-minute dosing session. First, let's make sure we're in a safe space. Are you in a safe space? Are you reclined? Preferably, while we're dosing, particularly if we're spitting, we want to be more at a sitting position because we don't want to accidentally swallow some of the medicine. But if we are a swallower, then we could be in a more of a inclined position. But we never want to be all the way flat. The reason why is because it does encourage us to fall asleep. And we do not want to fall asleep in these where we are learning about ourselves. So we definitely want to try to be as alert as we can. So I am going to do a brief 10-minute dosing. But let's first go through our checklist. Did you brush your teeth? We want to brush our teeth. We want to get all of anything that we've had from lunch or dinner or whatever. We want to remove all of that. We want to get all of that out of our mouths, right? So that way we can have as much absorption as possible of the medicine. Did we fast lightly? And when I say that, I don't mean you need to fast all day and be hungry. I mean that you need to be somewhat peckish. Perhaps you had a light lunch and you haven't eaten anything quite yet. Or you had a small breakfast and you haven't eaten anything quite yet at lunchtime. So a small fast, 4 to 6 hours, is ideal. And also eating something light. Don't want a big spaghetti dinner with a lot of carbs. That's going to be harder to digest. We want something lighter, something more along the lines of salads and soups and sandwiches on sourdough bread. So anyway, let's think about those kinds of things before we begin. The other thing we want to make sure that we've done, did we go ahead and take our nausea medicine if that's been prescribed to us? Let's go ahead and get that done. And also, what does your space look like? Are you ready for this experience? Do you have some beautiful blankets? Do you have aromatherapy going? Are you ready with googly glasses or fancy lights like the one I have? Let's have some of those things to get us into the psychedelic experience, the psychedelic mood. All right? We also want to check our blood pressure. Let's make sure that we're not in a high range because we do know that when we first take the medicine, it does spike the blood pressure. So I'm sure your prescriber gave you some numbers and I want you to follow those. So let's check the blood pressure before we begin. And let's have some place to spit. We don't want to be wandering around looking for that. So let's have a little spit cup. Let's also have our medicine ready. I like to use the same cup. I like to put my dose in there as well as use it for my spit cup. So anyway, you do you. Also, it's a good idea if we use plastic because sometimes we get a little confused during these sessions and we might break something. So plastic, there's one thing to have spit on your bed. It's quite another thing to have broken glass on your bed. So let's go ahead and think about safety as well. So if you have all of those things in place, if you have a sitter, they should be aware that you're getting ready to go and have your experience. And let's go ahead and get started. So if we're taking the powder type tabs, then we want to go ahead and put them under the tongue. If we're using the troche types, some people like to cut them. I like to cut them in half. And I put one here and here and here and here. And I put them underneath there, and I pull them down one at a time, and I bite them with my teeth, my tiny front teeth. We don't want to get them in the molars because it's hard to get them out. Okay, so that's the way I do it, but I have clients who put the whole thing in their mouths too. You do whatever works for you. Okay, so all this 10-minute swish is going to be is I am going to go ahead and do a brief body scan. And as you relax, and I'm going to use a bell for the last 10 minutes. So let you hear what that sounds like so that way you know. So if you're closing your eyes and you're not watching me, which is absolutely fine, you'll know that you're done. You could go ahead and spit or swallow and lie back and enjoy your experience. So that will be the sound that I will be producing when the 10 minutes is up. I do have a little clock over here, so I am going to have to look a little sideways. But I am putting the clock up on here so that that's a little more modern and easier to follow. So anyway, let's begin. Let's make sure we did all of the things. Oh, one last thing. Almost forgot. Did you use the restroom? Sometimes we have to pee right in the middle of an experience. That's not good. So let's go ahead and get that done as well. It also is a good idea not to drink for a couple of hours before your experience. So that way that won't happen to you. Ketamine is a diuretic, so because of that, you might have the urge to urinate during your experience. So it's a good idea to get that done beforehand. Okay, so let's begin. Let's start by simply breathing. Congratulations on taking this time for yourself. So let's go ahead and put the medicine in, and I will start the timer. We are going for 10 minutes. Let's breathe briefly through the nose. A couple of times while we get those tabs in there. We're going to take the next 3 minutes just to relax and talk about intention. I don't know what your intention is, but I hope that it is remediating in your mind right now. Just a couple of simple words. It doesn't need to be complicated. But I am going to use the intention of truly loving ourselves. That will be the intention I'll be using here. Because even if that isn't your intention, loving yourself needs to be part of your work. So I'm going to include that in this small hypnosis, this small relaxing and getting into it. So let's go ahead and relax the feet. Let's let all the tension in the feet just go ahead and drift away. Let all of the muscles in the feet completely and totally relax. Now let's do the ankles. Now might be a good time to kind of twist those around, get any little icky bits, any little pops that need to come out. Let's go ahead and relax those ankles. Let's go ahead and do the calves now. Completely, totally loose, limp, and very, very relaxed. Do not feel like you need to stay in one spot. If you can move and make yourself 5% more comfortable, that's worth it. So let's go ahead and continue to try to find that yummy space where we're very, very relaxed. Now let's go ahead and put a pillow under the knees. If we need that, this would be a perfect time to do that. If not, continue to relax those knees. All of that tension, all of the little yucky bits in the knees, let's let them become very loose, limp, and very, very relaxed. Now everything from the knees all the way down to the tips of the toes, very loose, limp, and very, very relaxed. Now let's get up to the thighs and hamstrings. Let's go ahead and release all the tension there. every bit of it completely and totally falling away. You can just feel your legs so heavy onto the mattress or couch that you're on. Very heavy, loose, limp, and very, very relaxed. Now let's get all of the butt and pelvis extremely and totally relaxed. Let's let all that tension just fall away. We can just feel our entire bottom side of our bodies just falling straight into the mattress. It's so heavy now. Very loose, limp, and very, very relaxed. Now let's go ahead and do the stomach, all of the abdomen, the entire chest, and the chest wall. Very loose, limp, and very, very relaxed. At this point, the medicine should be completely dissolved in your mouth, and you should be starting your gentle swish. It should feel something along the lines of swishing with some mouthwash or something like that. If this is your first experience, the taste isn't that great, but soon your mouth will be so numb you won't even notice it anymore. So just gently swish back and forth. If a little spittle comes out, you can grab a little tissue and dab that on there. But continue to swish. Find some spaces in your mouth that haven't been touched by the ketamine and continue to gently swish the medicine back and forth. Now let's continue our body scan with the spine. Let's go ahead and release all the tension in the spine, from the tailbone all the way to the top of the neck, completely and totally relaxed. Now the entire torso and all the way down to the tips of the toes are completely and totally relaxed. Now let's go ahead and do our arms from the shoulder all the way to the elbow, completely, totally relaxed. Let's let all of those muscles just fall right into the mattress. Now let's go from the elbows all the way down to the tips of the fingers, very loose, limp, and very, very relaxed. Now let's go ahead and do the neck, all the way to the back of the skull, and all of the scalp, very loose, limp, and very, very relaxed. Now all the muscles in the face, very loose, limp, and very, very relaxed. You're doing such a great job. You have decided to spend this time on yourself and your mental health. Continue to swish. You're already more than half done. We're already at 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Continue to swish. Now let's briefly talk about that intention of self-love. Oh, you're such a special person. You've always been a special person. From the day you were born to this moment in time. You're exceptional in every way. And this medicine helps you identify your genuine self so that you can find the love again for yourself. You are your very best companion. So let's start healing that companion to find your genuine love for self, for your heart, for your love, for your experience of your life. I know not all of us have had it easy, but we are here today to heal the self. And that alone makes you remarkable. You're exceptional in every way, and you always have been from the moment you were born. This body has brought you to this world, and now you get to enjoy this body in this beautiful space. But we need to learn to love ourselves so that way we can love others completely, totally, and honestly. You're doing so great. You're already at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Continue to swish. Continue to try to find spaces in the mouth that have not been quite touched by the ketamine. By now, you're probably feeling the drop, which is a feeling of a little bit of loopiness, a little bit of advanced relaxation. The arms and legs might be becoming numb now, and that's perfectly normal. You're doing a perfect job in this very moment. Continue to swish. You have less than a minute to go. Let's remember that we deserve to love ourselves. Let's remember that the subconscious mind loves us, and it will never steer us into the wrong direction. You already have 9 minutes and 30 seconds. You're almost done. Continue to swish. If you're ready, you can go ahead and get your spit cup out, or if you're going to swallow, it's almost that time. We just have 15 seconds left. Continue to swish, and remember to enjoy your experience. I look forward to talking to you again. There you go, you're all done. Let's go ahead and lower your mask. Take a moment to find your mask and lower it onto your eyes if you haven't already done so. Go ahead and get those headphones or earbuds and enjoy that beautiful music and have a wonderful, wonderful journey. We will talk again soon. Take care.